Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading Lyney X the Sinner by me. So let's get into it. Lyney often loved to be honest with his father. After all, it was very difficult to hide things from Arlecchino. And oftentimes he ended up getting found out. So it was a bit of a waste to try and hide things and have them be found out against his will. At least if he tells her straight away, it will seem like he has a choice in the matter, and also he will not lose her trust. He truly trusts his father as well, and he believes that, if possible, she would be understanding as possible. However, in the current climate, it was not so easy. You were a normal person, someone not acquainted with the Fatui, but you also worked in the government. And right now, the current relationship that the house and Fatui had with the government of Fontaine was not very good. So it was obvious that if he had informed her, she would have her own reservations about this, unless she had something strange to ask, like you, joining their ranks and eventually becoming one of them. Perhaps spying on the government for the house's sake and the Fatui. And he knew very well that is not something you'd be willing to do. So, he did not want to involve you in that matter. And yet he struggled. He had no idea how to introduce you to Arlecchino without causing trouble, and so he felt like he was stuck in a rock and a hard place. And eventually he knew that Arlecchino would figure it out and deal with it in her own way, which could be quite unsavory. But he had no other option and nothing else to pursue, and so he waited on and hoped that somehow things will get better. Maybe he'll figure out something else. Maybe something will change. Maybe the relationship between the government and the house would not be so terrible by the time that Arlecchino finds out. But unfortunately for him, it was none of that. It was the worst possible scenario that happened, and he had yet to find out. It was on a gloomy day that Arlecchino found you. She didn't really have to look too hard. She had heard about you from the other children. Unfortunately, although they respected Lyney and tried their best to keep his secret, they feared Arlecchino even more. And so she had to know everything. But then again, she would have known, with or without them telling her. And that's how, right now, she knew where you'd be. Alone. With no one else to interrupt your little conversation. Wyan, I presume? Yes, that's me. And you are... The knave. I'm sure you've heard of me. I'm here to talk to you about something very important. He paused, looking at her in a little bit of confusion and nervousness. As far as he knew, Lane did not tell her anything yet, and he had told you that he would do his best to make sure she does not find out. So something must have gone not according to his plans. He had told you what to do in that case, but right now all of it seemed to disappear in your mind as you saw her, her gaze fixing you in place, as you stared, feeling your skin go just a little bit paler and colder. She was a bit scary, even with only uttering a few words. Her aura was unmatchable. So, what did you want to tell me? I'm here to warn you. In a quite sufficient way, I suppose. She walked even closer, and as much as you wanted to run away, your legs were not serving you in the moment. You felt rooted in your spot. And then, her hand wrapped around your neck, squeezing just a little bit as their nails dug into your skin. You whimpered, shutting your eyes tightly. Miss Arlecchino, if you could just let me breathe for a moment, I would appreciate that. You said, gritting your teeth. And she frowned a little bit. I originally did not intend to hurt you, but I see how stubborn you are. And I've heard about just enough to know that you will not leave him with just a threat. So I wanted to show you a little bit of a demonstration of what I could do. I want this to be over before the week ends. And I don't want Lyney to see you again. If anything other than that happens, then I assure you that you will not have a kind ending. She let go of you then, and there was blood dripping down your neck. And you frowned, touching it with your fingers. I understand. You said, not sure how you were feeling. And after that, you went home. Your day passed by in a blur, and you tried to calm down from that encounter. You had a huge decision to make. You wanted to be safe. You didn't want unnecessary risks. And you were not willing to sacrifice your life, but you loved him far too much to just go away like that. So perhaps, in the end, you would end up staying anyway. And you knew that you had to think on all of this for a long, long time. Well, as long as before the weekend was, which was just a couple of days, that would decide your future and how your relationship with Lyney would go. But you knew very well that no matter what happens, and no matter how scary the knave is, she could not change the feelings that you had for him. She could not stop you from loving him. And with that in mind, you knew very well what you were going to do. You'd do anything but leave him, because leaving him would be as good as dying for you, and you'd never be able to handle a single day without him around, or with him thinking that you hate him and left him alone. Thank you guys for listening, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you get to 25 comments, I'll be doing a part 2 of this. Bye!